Okay, so this video is a look at 1986 UK M.A.S.K annual. One of my favourite cartoons, comics and toy lines ever is M.A.S.K. I've been a fan of it since the beginning in the 80s when I was a kid. I've done a few videos about my favourite vehicles from the toy line and some about the UK comic, so I thought it was about time I did some videos about the UK annuals, of which I have 3. They were mainly made up of reprints of the DC M.A.S.K comic, which I didn't mind as I only ever came across one of those as a kid on a family holiday. And I've still got it too. It's one of my favourite DC comics I own. But there's a bit more to them than just repeated comics, which I hope M.A.S.K fans outside the UK will find interesting. So here's some of the reprinted DC M.A.S.K comic. Great artwork. But they also had some text stories too. It was in here that I first came across Stinger's alternative name Scorpion, which I think is a much better name for it. A few other M.A.S.K vehicles were renamed in England. Bulldog became Bulldoze, Bullet became Bandit, Dragonfly became Firefly, and in some stories like this, Stinger became Scorpion. The claw weapon which comes out the back of it is called the Stinger Claw. Even though the box my Scorpion came in is long gone, it did say Stinger on it, but I will forever call it Scorpion, and it's because of these annuals. They also had fact files on the characters, revealing details such as the codenames they had. I've never heard the codenames being used in any other M.A.S.K media, but they did have them. So for the record, Leader Matt Trackers was Hunter, Bruce Zato Magic, Dusty Hayes Powder Keg, Hondo McLean Striker, Brad Turner Chopper, hopefully because he was a helicopter pilot, Alex Sector Megabyte, Buddy Hawk's Clutch, and Miles Mayhem, the leader of Venom, Wolf. Hope you got all that. There's a test later. In this comic story, Matt Tracker is given a new agent, Nash Gory, who drives Outlaw. He turns out to be a bit of a liability, as when M.A.S.K and Venom are fighting, he misses Switchblade and instead hits the M.A.S.K vehicle Firefly. In the cartoon, Nash, Gory and Outlaw always belonged to Venom. There was no mystery about it. So in the comic, either Nash started off as a M.A.S.K agent and defected to Venom, or was a double agent working for Venom, planted into M.A.S.K to ensure they lose, and the accidental miss was in fact deliberate. This annual doesn't conclude that Nash story arc, but I'd love to know which one he is. My money is on a double agent. Also in this comic story, Scorpion is called Scorpion, and the claw weapon is called the Stinger Claw, even though this is a reprint of an American comic. So they never really settled on a name for that one. But it's not a reliable source for names, as Hurricane is called Firecracker, even though it's definitely Hurricane. So that was a look at that 1986 M.A.S.K annual. And next I'll show this M.A.S.K annual and this M.A.S.K annual, also from 1986, as both have quirks specific to the UK M.A.S.K market, which I hope you'll find just as interesting.